with that notification sent, I think it's about time that we go live. So that's exactly what we have done. Everyone who's listening now, we are live. The thing that was playing before is no longer playing, and the voices you hear right now are representative of the station. Everyone at the station, I would like to add. Basically, before we did this show, everyone on the station got together and said, "Look, we know what you're covering over the next hour, and we wholeheartedly agree that all the points you could ever put across, they do represent the views of everyone here at Threshold
So
FM."
much so that me and Jimmy haven't had to put any of these points together ourselves.
Yeah, we didn't.
These have been handed to us in an email from the rest of the people here.
Emails, some very hastily and angrily written notes, including some from the two Swedish presenters / DJs we actually have here at Threshold FM, which is quite interesting.
There's nothing like a bit of self-loathing.
Exactly. For those who haven't guessed, this week's topic is, well, it's fucking Sweden. To give people a little bit of context, a few episodes back, I can't quite remember how many episodes back, but a few episodes back, we decided that we would become, I think we needed an enemy, didn't we? I think.
We needed someone we could blame something on for some reason.
Yeah. And
we needed to give ourselves a bit of an edge as well in the market, you know.
Yeah, you needed to have some sort. You can't, the best way to get fame is have haters. So we figured we need to have a unique angle, a unique centre of our hatred. And we decided to become the world's first anti-Swedish podcast. With little to no thought, I might add. It was very much...
It's almost like we plucked it out of nowhere.
It's almost like we tried to pick the most ethically fairly thing, or the most ethical way of picking something to hate, which we basically tried to eco-hate, left-wing hate is what we were trying to achieve. And we thought, we can't punch down, clearly, so you punch up. And everyone was hating on New Zealand, and everyone always goes for New Zealand, so we thought, fuck it, we'll go Sweden. And now, many episodes later, we thought we'd try and find some sort of rationale to explain this hatred. And I would like to add, before we go any further, our minds may have changed.
Yeah, they do. After reading about them and that, man, they fucking seem pretty sound, innit? I think it's just jealousy on our part.
I think partially
and
is,
isn't that what all hatred is?
So, where did this week's research take you, mate?
Fucking all over the place, mainly to different lists initially about Sweden. Read through some different lists of random facts about them, and then tried to put them together to try and make a couple conspiracies out of it, you know. Right. What about yourself? Where did you go with it?
Well, I've been... Let's see where we started. We started on the M6. Which we'll come back to very shortly, because I'm not going to dive into these points yet. But we started on the M6. We went left-wing leader assassinated, right-wing parties currently rising up. We went to the Swedish psyche, and then we went to 1932 Stockholm in 1932. Then we came through. Then we came through a bunker. Then we came through a bunker via a train, and ended up with... we ended up with a bloke who's actually Finnish, who I thought I could tie into this, but I couldn't. And now I've sort of mentioned...
You might be able to, though. You might be able to, with how they went... When the one year they decided, oh, fucking hell, the sea's frozen over. Well, fucking have Finland.
Yeah, but
and
no...
They took thousands of people over there and just invaded it, and they're like, yeah, this is ours now.
Yeah, I can't do that, because the bloke, the person I ended up, and it was just someone I really wanted to mention, because he's just a fucking hard cunt, like an absolute beast of a person, is Simo... I can never remember how it says his surname. It's Haya or something like that. Oh, yeah. He was also known as his, more famous moniker, White Death. He was a sniper during World War I or II, and ended up taking out over 200 targets. He was very stuck in his ways. He used the same rifle his entire life. He used no sights on his rifle, just the iron, no scope, just the iron sights, because the scope gave away his position. And his whole thing was that he was never seen. and he became this
And he
mythic...
killed all of these people point blank range.
Yeah.
Really how he got the nickname.
Yeah, he actually just like crept up to him in night time, tapped him on the shoulder, they turned around and then he battered them. Yeah, he used a sniper rifle, but just
never
like
fired a shot in his life.
But yeah, I wanted to mention him, but I mean, and now I have. Now I feel like I have, and that's the only positive part of this podcast I'm going to mention because the rest is Swedish hatred. Start from the top. I'm going to bring up the Swedish twins first, right? And they're going to probably figure prominently later on. Have you heard the story about the... I can never remember the surname, but there were twins who came from Sweden to the UK called Ursula and Sabina. The incident I'm referring to happened in 2008. Now, I watched this on, like, it was like a traffic cops or something like that when it first happened. And it was mad that they happened to be filming for traffic cops or one of these police series where they follow like police driving around the place, blah blah blah. It just so happened that there was a camera crew with them when this whole incident kicked off, and it's fucking mental. These two Swedish women came over from Sweden, obviously. They were on a coach trip to go, I think, down towards London. Ended up getting kicked off the coach at a services because they were being like... Well, they were being rowdy and like they were off-putting a lot of other people on the coach. So they were kicked off the coach and told to wait for the next one, chill out and wait for the next one. And they didn't. They proceeded to walk down the M6. And then run into traffic. One got hit. One got hit. The other one didn't get hit. The police turn up, right?
Yeah.
While they're seeing to them, the other one runs into traffic. Then the one who'd originally been hit runs into traffic again. So they've been hit twice. Meanwhile...
Frogger was big, though, over there, wasn't it?
Eh? Yeah, massive.
Frogger.
Absolutely. Yeah, but they were never any good at it. They were always really bad.
No,
like, these never got past first level, clearly. So they've been hit twice each. Then one of them's got their legs, bottom half, torso down, mangled. But with her top half is still spitting at and punching at the police officers who are currently trying to administer some sort of first aid. She's been hit by a lorry and thrown about 15, 20 feet. The other one gets up like fucking Undertaker after being knocked out by a car. She gets smashed out by the bumper, hits the windscreen, hits the deck, gets knocked out, rises. She drops a copper with one bat while trying to free herself. She frees her arm and just hooks this busy and drops this woman police officer. She is done. And then she runs and jumps into traffic again. Survives a third hit. They get taken to hospital. I mean, obviously, one of them, I think it's Ursula, is in there for like the foreseeable future. She's in there for a few months. But
the one that got pretty much cut in half.
That was the one who had a torso down mangled. She only had both her legs broken. She survived, like, she had her legs not working again. She can walk fine now. Sabina, the other one, who was the one who got hit 3 times and was restrained, blah, blah, blah. By the time she gets the hospital, after 5 hours, she's declared free to go by the hospital. She's given the all clear. She's been hit by 3 cars separately on a motorway, and she's fine. She's superhuman. She comes out of the hospital, obviously under arrest for sparking out a busy and running onto a motorway. So when she's taken to the station, she's a completely different person. Like her entire personality and everything. Like, she's very happy. She's very like apologetic. She's very a bit flirty with the officers, shit like that. The officers interview her. They give no reason. She gives no reason for why they're getting this trip on the coach, like blah, why they're in the UK, blah blah blah. But they notice that she doesn't seem like this in this sort of state of psychosis or anything anymore. So they release her on bail, or they I don't even think that she's under arrest. I think they just they let her go, and she meets this. Well, mate, it gets even weirder, this story, and I am going to sort of relate it to something somewhere down the line, possibly. She gets released. She's wandering around. I can't remember where it is. It might be Luton. It was somewhere like that where she got released. Because she didn't make it down to London, obviously. Coach didn't get her. But she's in this town, and as a bloke and his mate, this bloke, she's basically explains the situation. He offers her somewhere to stay. for the night. So she's got a room to stay at while she waits waits to see her sister and all that shit. She ends up stabbing him to death, and then leaving his house with she stabs him to death, and then bludgeons him with a hammer, and then she's seen running from the scene covered in blood with a hammer, which is pretty incriminating, really. As far as unless you were like, I make wine in small batches.
Oh, tomatoes.
Yeah. I just work in the back of a Pizza Hut, mate. I do the sauce. That's me. She starts hitting herself with this hammer while she's running down the street, and yet again, another good member of the public. Remember what she did to the first one? She stabbed up the first one after getting a roof over her head. Another member of the public goes, "There's a lady there hitting herself in the head with a hammer." That's not ideal. I mean, it's not going to get rid of whatever issues you've got.
He's doing harder.
Yeah. So he goes to disarm her, and he grabs the hammer. She whips out a fucking roof tile she's got in her pocket. Now, that, when I found out that bit, raised many questions. Like, what? When I leave the house, I usually go wallet, keys, phone. I never go wallet, keys, phone, roof tile.
Could it have been a miscommunication of sorts, though? Like, she's not from England. They speak a lot of English there, but she's heard, a night on the tiles and all this, and thought to herself,
literally,
that's what I need. Yeah. Everyone in England, they love a drink.
If I'm getting a good drink,
on the tiles, I'll take the tile with me, and I don't have to use money.
That's me. You might have. That is probably as better a reason than she's ever given police for anything that's happened, because she smashes him over the head with a tile, takes off.
Fucking hell.
He chases her because this man obviously doesn't understand when his good nature is being stamped all over. So after being struck on the head with a roofing implement, he chases his. He got roofied. He got roofied and still tried to chase her down. She then jumps 15 meters from a bridge from an overpass bridge onto a road, fractures both legs and a skull, survives. Now it gets interesting because when they take her in, like, she's studied by a number of psychiatrists and a number of like fucking psychologists, and they described her illness as like mental illness by proxy. They said that she doesn't have any sort of mental illness whatsoever. Her sister, Ursula, has a mental illness. I'm not sure if it's schizophrenia. I'm not sure if it's bipolar. It's something like that. But he said I can't remember if the term they called it was folie à deux or something like that. But essentially, it means like like two people share the same illness, and it happens not quite often, but it's most frequently attributed to twins. And these two are identical twins, so you spend enough time around each other that like you like twins have this ability to sort of communicate in ways that other people don't, because they've spent so much time around each other that they can pretty much think each other's shit. Well, this is like you take on each other's illness. So she wasn't demonstrating these signs of mental illness a lot of the time because she hasn't got it. But it's like brief periods. She was demonstrating extreme signs, and they're completely, or it was argued that they're completely fictitious. She ended up serving 5 years for manslaughter, which is fuck all.
It's something, no? I mean, the lucky she didn't just get, go out, it's fine, go out again. At the end of the night, 2 nights on the bounce doing all that, and you're like, go on. You won't do it a third time. Make a fool of me once, shame on me.
I'm going to argue that the Swedish have developed self-destructing sleeper agents.
I was going to say cyborgs because they're massively into transhumanism.
It's very similar. Now, I feel that we're going to have I think our points are going to complement each other as we go down this, because a bit of mine relates to this as well. But, yeah, I think we've got some sort of, like, Mancunian Candidate, like, sleeper agents that are triggered into doing something. Maybe they're in, like, early stages of production and they got the target wrong. Or they skipped a stage and went straight to the self-destruction bit before actually trying to commit the crime. And then in getting battered about a few times, they got a little bit scrambled. And then the GPS went off.
What if they just escaped, though? What if they were, like, halfway through the process of, like, sticking the, because I imagine, like, they take the glass out of a microwave door, innit, and shove the person's head through the microwave, put it on for 30 seconds and that, and bring it out and be like, how do you feel? And they're like, well, not great. You're like, all right, give it another 20 seconds. And yeah, and then when they come out a bit like, fried, like in the brain's not like quite firing anymore. They're like, right, perfect. Give us them weird grains of rice that fella's made. And they shove them, under their eyes or wherever they fucking put the computer chips in people. And then they try and reprogram them by fucking plugging a USB up their arse and hacking into them. But maybe they escaped before the USB could go up their arse. Maybe they were very prudish.
Maybe that's what they needed to. Maybe that's what they needed to do all the time. They were trying to restrain them. They were cuffing their arms and legs, and they really should have just got a USB 3 and just absolutely jabbed it up a jacksy.
Yeah.
They would have gone into reset mode.
Maybe, yeah. That might be where the button is, on the inside. Because I think not many people, no decent person is going to be like, right, I've arrested you, and now, like that, up the arse, there we go, feel for a button. Oh, there's no button. This is a real one. Because imagine getting that as a job though as well. Like, you've signed up to the police or the army, and they're like, right, yeah, you're on Jaxie duty.
What? Not again. Not again, man.
Can't Tim do it? Tim likes
man,
it.
This is 2 weeks in a fucking row. Tim. That's all Tim wants to do, and that's the reason that he's not even on the unit anymore. To be honest, he was on the behavioural dog unit for a while, and we can't cover those scandals up.
He learnt that they've got arseholes as well, unfortunately.
And they can't even.
The same since.
They can't make witness statements, and so he's now just off the force altogether. Yeah, I think they're sleeper agents, and I basically think that Sweden are guarding a lot of things, right? Because, and you'll have a lot more information on some of this than I will. They have a disproportionately large amount of like mysteries and like examples of folklore, mythological stories, things like that, like a highly disproportionate amount in comparison with a lot of other countries.
The local indigenous people, the Sami, they believe that there's 3 worlds in it, and that one of them is predominantly filled with just mythical beings, like mythical monsters and animals.
Right, go on.
And not many other places I don't know much about their folklore and that in it, but little bits. But I don't know of many others where they think they've got a whole entire world that's just for made-up creatures. Usually humans or gods come into it, and they do have one, like I think it was the white world is for gods, and then they've got the equivalent of like what fucking Vikings had with like Midgard, but I think that's the colour red, and then the one where the mythical creatures are, I think the black world, I think they call it. Or that's how they're described, but it's like fucking. I don't know what the mythical creatures are in it, but I imagine like griffins and that. Well, maybe the tall whites as well come from there. Yeah,
you've got those. Trolls are a massive one. You've done a show about trolls.
Yeah.
You have done a show about trolls. They're a massively common occurrence. You've got. Have you heard of the Nakken?
No. Don't think so.
Surprised you've not heard of this. Like, honestly, when I was looking into these, like, it's another example of us leaving shit till the last minute. But like, I feel I've done more today in the last 2.5 hours than I've done for most shows, because like there's so much Swedish folklore and mythology shit to look up, and everyone's covered it into condensed bits. Like,
well, this is nice then, because I've looked at stuff that's actually like real. With Sweden,
we've swapped, haven't we?
Find conspiracy.
We've swapped, haven't we? Now I've done bits of that as well, but again, like I already knew quite a bit of that. But the Nakken, given its name Nakken is because it's naked, is basically like
Are they the mountains that turn into people?
No, but there's points like that. Well, there was another one that looked like a beautiful female figure from the front, but looked like a tree trunk from behind. But that'll come in that one in a bit. That sounds like many people I've seen in life, but like we'll come back to that one in a bit. Nakken, thus so referred to as because it's naked, is like a Swedish folklore creature. It's a bloke, blokes. Basically, they occur in all waterways of Sweden, which is fucking a worrying thought. When they said all waterways and not just restricted to like a lake, like Loch Ness Monster's just a lake. So you're like, oh yeah, that's a mythological being. Big scary beast, but we know it's in one place. I know it's just there. So I just know that if I want to scare, go to there. If I don't, go to any other lake or loch on the planet, and I'm sound. If you go to, like, you know where great white sharks go. We know that. We can go, right, I'm just not going to go in, we're not going to go around the south coast of Africa. There's lots of sharks there. Not going to go around Australia. I can go to Lake Windermere. There's no fucking great whites or big sharks around there. But with the Nacken, you're just not safe. And I don't know how small of a body of water this includes. So I don't know if you can even have a fish pond in Sweden.
A puddle.
Or a large puddle.
Rains.
As soon as it rains in Sweden, everyone just puts towels outside their house.
You spill a drink and everyone just starts screaming in the pub.
Just chuck sand. They've got buckets of sand. Just, you know, like we have them for fire over here.
Yeah.
They've got buckets of sand, so if someone spills a drink, it's to stop a Nacken appearing. But what these things do is they play the fiddle or the violin and try to entice people into the water so they can drown and kill them. Now,
siren.
A little bit, yeah. It's like
maybe the accompaniment to a siren. Maybe they're looking for each other.
Well,
Sirens just sing. You need a bit of an accompaniment, don't you? You know.
You're almost proving me point. Because
it's been completely inverted, and the truth is the Swedish stuff, and everyone else has inverted it to make everyone think, oh, women are the scary ones. They sing in the rocks and crash the boats, but really, it's the naked blokes hanging around.
No, it's cause no bloke wanted to be thought of as gay. So they were like, no, it was definitely a lass that was singing that made us go towards.
She was gorgeous, wasn't she, guys? Yeah, and everyone else is like, well, yeah.
There's no way it was a bloke's violin skills that made me drown myself. It was definitely a lass's tits. No, it could be because the reason that they coax people into the water is because they're lonely. So they want new souls. They basically want friends, which sort of ties in with your theory about sirens. Maybe they've just become estranged from their like pen pals or something, or the lasses that used to be about. Maybe the world's bigger than it used to be, and they're not as close to the sirens as they used to be. Can't make it through anymore. Go on.
From what you're saying there, water displacement, mate.
Yep.
So if they keep bringing people into the water, albeit people will rot down and then bones don't take up nearly as much room, but if they keep getting people into the lakes, the water will keep rising, and then eventually all of the seas will touch each other and they can go and find the sirens.
Go back to the siren birds. But who else killed people who he actually loved because he wanted to have them around?
Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, we didn't love him, but he gave it a go.
He really did, didn't he? Like the Nacken are essentially like a bit.
And he chased people naked down the street.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer's Nacken. Jeffrey Dahmer is proof that Swedish mythology isn't bullshit. If anything,
awesome.
I mean, I don't know if there were any sort of autopsies done on Jeffrey Dahmer or any sort of DNA test done. Someone should have probably done some sort of ancestry test or genealogy test with him, because if he's Swedish, then bloke's a fucking Nacken, mate.
Where did he live? I think a lot of Swedish people at one point. I think it was in the 70s or 80s. I think it was Minnesota they moved to. An awful lot of Swedish people I learned today.
I'm not entirely sure. Do you want me to look at that while you chat waffle?
I mean, I can try. Sticking in like the real world, like away from the mythology, they done some stuff which seems unusual for a country that seems so powerful in a way. Like they're not in NATO, which is surprising, isn't it? You'd think they would be. So does that mean that we're all already against them? Because I thought NATO was very much us versus anything else that's not in NATO.
Well, it's basically us versus Russia.
Ah.
That's what NATO is essentially, just to fucking protect them against Russia and the rise of the Soviet Union, I believe. Sweden do that to remain neutral in the possibility of a war. Basically, because if you look at their location, they're slap back in the middle and right on the edge of Russia. So they don't want to be involved in that sort of business today. They also. Another weird one. They supported Vietnam in the Vietnamese War.
Did they?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
Yeah, they're like
I suppose though jungles are pretty dark, so maybe their armed forces spend a lot of time training in the winter where they don't get sunshine. So they were better equipped for it than the Americans, and they thought, you know what, we can probably have them here. So
um,
let's go give it a go.
and as a result, I think they got quite a few Vietnamese people emigrate to Sweden after the war. But yeah, there was I can't quite. There we go. Why did Sweden support the Viet Cong? I had this written down somewhere. Something. Not too interesting. Not too interesting. Helped
Lovely
them with,
radio, this Jimmy.
yeah, absolutely fantastic. Sweet, yeah, absolutely fucking great. Yeah, doesn't matter. All we need to know is Sweden supported Vietnam. Another reason why they're evil, although I don't really think Vietnam were all that evil for trying to defend their country from a bunch of Americans trying to just be America and do America shit. So
Trying to be there, but I honestly, we should probably do something on Vietnam. I don't really know why that happened.
that's a
I
good
haven't
one.
got a clue.
Yeah, I think that's we'll do that because it's one that like it's one of those examples of a nonsensical war where nobody won, but America most certainly lost, and lost to a tiny, tiny island. But the result was just, even now, like Vietnam is still suffering repercussions from that. It's something that was never, and another example of America trying to play God. Like it's yeah, we will do. It's fucking interesting. It's very dark.
Oh, with the whole America trying to play God thing, I did think to myself, with Sweden's in Europe, in it, and obviously, like, just, for those of you that are completely clueless, I guess. For those of you that aren't in Europe, Sweden's a part of it. But they've got, like, Sweden are massively into technology, in it. And a
Yes.
lot of Europe's massively into technology, whereas America, and I would say England and Ireland as well, are more religion focused. I know you've got Italy and that, which has the Vatican City in it, which is very much religion, but I would say predominantly across Europe, especially that sort of area of Europe, it's not so much
Scandinavia.
religion focused.
Yeah,
It's technology focused.
Scandinavia's just a forward-thinking area of Europe, because I would say like Central Europe is still very much religious, like Spain, Italy, France, like loads of those areas are still very heavily religiously, massively, like they're still huge Christian nations. But and if you go to Eastern Europe, still quite religious, but also quite political. Like they've got quite heavy political regimes going on over there. But in Scandinavia, like that region just seems to be at the forefront of, we just want what works. We're not going to follow some sort of system that doesn't actually seem to have any benefit. We want to do real life shit that's actually going to change, and we don't have the levels of corruption in our countries where you do in your countries, where you can't enact these changes. We can enact these changes, so we're just going to fucking do it.
Well, they tried as well in America, though. A Swedish company, an American vending machine company hired some Swedish bloke and his company to put these weird microchips into some of the staff, so that the staff could use vending machines without cash. So they could just put their hand in it, like using the fucking force to fucking get a Mars bar or whatever the fuck they call them over there. And then it went into the news, and it made the news all over the world. But then Americans and that started getting weird over it, saying this is the end of times now. These people have now got the mark of the devil.
Sounds about right.
That put a lot of people off of the idea of transhumanism and the idea of cyborgs and installing technology into people, just through that one simple interaction with it.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all.
But I just thought it was odd that it was really turned on its head.
It's I don't find that odd when it comes to America, because it is still a massive. Well, it's a massively Christian nation when it wants to be. Do you know what I mean? Like politicians and like lobbyists and people who twist that, like those sort of events, will play on the Christian nation part when it suits their message, and then they'll play on the utilitarian effort when it suits their. Well, they'll just adjust depending on what they need at the time. Like, but they know that a lot of the working class and the people that are still like so disconnected because of how large America is and like how big it expands, like they're so disconnected from the few like massively developed technological, or what you would consider technological cities, like that doesn't play a factor to them. They're still old. They're still back to their roots. They're still like, this is church country. Like, this is like, the Bible Belt fucking exists. Like, who else has it? Who else?
There was a Swedish company a Swedish spokesman for that company came out and said that it shows about the level of education kind of thing. They realise that in highly educated places they'll be able to get away with it easier, to have transhumanism and the microchips in people and fucking, like, I don't know what else they'd be like, fucking seeing the dark contact lenses that turn you into the Terminator kind of thing, if they do exist. Google Glass possibly, but they're more likely to accept that in countries where the education's better, and the education in Sweden's fucking mental because it's all free.
Well, it's the same with like changes in healthcare. It's the same with vaccines. Like it's anything that with a total lack of knowledge can be misconstrued as evil or against God. Like, that is never going to take off in those sort of places. Whereas if you go to anywhere with people that have not even the knowledge of how the things work, but the knowledge of, well, I don't understand how it works, but just because I don't understand how it works, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. I just understand that the people who have actually put this shit together are infinitely more knowledgeable than me on this situation. That's why they're in those positions. So I have no reason to distrust this.
Well, there's an element of trust towards the people in charge, though, as well.
Yes.
And an element of distrust on the other side, though, isn't there?
Yes.
And you would trust the people more if you're paying, like, they have the highest proportion of tax, I think, in the world, but they actually seem to get a lot for their money for it.
Well,
like, the infrastructure is there. Like, even when it's dark in the winter, man, they've got fucking like basking lights in the fucking bus stops and that, to try and help people be a bit healthier because they're not getting any sunlight, so they give them a bit of UV light there. But that could just be a bit of propaganda though there from the Swedes to stop us thinking that they're all smackheads.
It's really
and
like
actually
North
just
Korea.
treating bus stations like fucking Morrison's bathrooms.
It's just, it's really like, if you actually go to Sweden, it's very similar to North Korea. People say that Stockholm is the European Pyongyang. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that in travel brochures, but I say that quite a bit. Or maybe that was just the one review I wrote on TripAdvisor for Sweden about that trip I didn't go on about 6 weeks ago when we first formed an anti-Swedish podcast. But I'll be honest, the more I looked into Sweden, the more that I wasn't happy with the fact that we'd chosen this as our focal point of our hatred, because I'd rather like to live there.
And it sounds all right. I quite like the idea that all the winter's dark as well. I don't like the winter. That changes how I am as a person through the winter.
I can't pronounce how they say the word, but there is a word, and it's to describe like a thought process, really, that no one's better than anyone. There's no sort of hierarchy as it is. So the whole bigging yourself up is discouraged. Like, people don't just sit and big themselves up and talk about how great they are. There's none of that. It's always like being very humble, putting yourself down, which I'm fucking fantastic at. Like, I would blend in brilliantly, absolutely great. I was watching one video, and the woman who was narrating it was like, this basically makes job interviews very hard, because no one's talking about how good they are. Like, oh no, don't employ me. I know I applied, but
don't waste your time.
I can do that. Yeah, but you wouldn't want me doing that for you. No. Like, no one must get employed.
That guy in the hallway out there, I've just read through his CV. He's amazing.
I watched him
He's a lot better at this.
I watched him chew through that pencil like it was nothing. He'll do great work for you. Trust me. He was pissing in the printer. He'll do all that good stuff. They don't do small talk either.
Perfect, mate. That's awesome.
Exactly. Another
just
great...
talk about the big issues when you're in a lift.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How the fuck do you fix constipation, mate? You look a lot older than me. How'd you do it? I just needed help. Straight to the point. No.
You've got 16. You've got 16 Cambodian kids locked in your cellar. What do you do? Right, thank God
Yeah.
we've got into this.
It's like that guy on TikTok that fucking stops people with nice cars. What do you do for a living, you? Big smile on your face. You've got 16 Cambodian kids there in a house. What do you do for a job?
Well, I'm glad you asked. None of this little mediocre chit chat that people keep coming up to us with, all those damn Americans. But yeah, that's fantastic. Like, there's no. It seems like a place where people are sound to each other, but also don't feel like you have to put up with each other's shit unless you really want to. If you ask someone how they're doing, they're going to tell you all the depressing shit going on in their life, which is fucking mint, because I do that with people anyway. When people go past, like, I live in the north, where everyone says all right to each other. And to 90% of people, when I'm walking past them, if I'm with the dog, if I'm going to the shop, if I'm out and about, I'll go, you all right? And they'll go, you all right? Sometimes, people who I know past a certain point ask me that question. Strap in, boys. You've got another 15 minutes on your hands where you're going to sit down and I'm going to tell you about everything that's wrong. And that's...
Oh, mate.
Go on.
I had a genuinely nice thing happen with you saying that. Like, for people that don't know, it doesn't sound it, but I live down in the southwest now, and I've lived there for about 7 years. And today, I've not lived on the same street for that 7 years, but in the same sort of area, within like fucking 15 roads kind of thing. Always going to the same little shop. And today was the first time the guy that works in the shop fucking smiled at me when I spoke to him.
No way.
Yeah, he had a blazer on, right? And I went, you look fucking smart, mate. And I was about to say, make a little joke. Are you on your way to a funeral? And before I could even say that, because normally he doesn't say anything back to me when I speak to him. It's just like talking to I could walk around with a shoe and speak to that shoe when I'm in there. And they just sort of stare at you like, why do you talk? And he smiled, right? He just smiled at me and went, oh, no. And he opened his blazer and went, I've got my uniform on underneath, and then smiled at me. And I thought, well, I don't really care that you've got your uniform on, man. I wasn't going to try and dob you into whoever. I thought this was your shop. So I'm not having a dig. I'm trying to make
him up to himself.
My head, this is all in my head, thinking I'm just trying to make conversation, bro. But he smiled, and I thought, oh, that's all right. And I went, oh, see you in a bit, mate. And he went, oh yeah, bye. I thought, fucking hell.
He's gone home and gone, I made a new friend today.
Yeah, he's gone home and gone, someone actually spoke to me today and I listened, and you know what? It's great when you listen.
Yeah, these ears are fantastic. I'm glad I started using them. Yeah, you don't get that, which to anyone up this, like anyone past, I want to say Nottingham, if you're going upwards past there, that's completely alien to anyone, because like, I have full conversations with people I'm never going to ever see again in my life. Like in shops, petrol stations, walking past their garden with the dog. Oh, that's a nice lawn. What you got? Them petunias coming out. Fucking looking lovely, them. Give them a month or two. They'll flourish. Why, I see you later. I'm never going to see that woman again.
Smile. Yeah.
She could die tomorrow. It's sometimes...
Well, she might have put you in a will now, because, you've made the effort.
I'll have those petunias.
Yeah, they're mine then. No, Did you ever used to do that? Just going, when an house would be empty, did your mum used to ever send you to gardens to go and dig up the flowers and that?
I used to collect garden ornaments.
Yeah.
So not in a way. Well, no, that makes us sound like some sort of weird cunt. I didn't have a collection of garden ornaments. We used to take people's garden ornaments, just for the crack. However, my mum, she took a garden gnome from a mate's house one night at a party, and then she took this garden gnome to so many different places, and each time she went to a different place, she'd send the woman a Polaroid of this garden gnome next to some sort of sign. So it went all across the UK. Then she got her mates to take it on holiday with them when they went on holiday. She kept sending these Polaroids in to this lass's house from all over. And then like a year after she'd nicked it, she put the garden gnome back in the garden one night with an envelope full of more Polaroids, knocked the door and ran away. This garden gnome went on holiday for a year to so many different places.
I remember reading a news article a couple of years ago now about this woman who'd had some, I think they were ceramic or, the plastic stuff that looks like ceramic when you do a cast.
Yeah.
Fraudulent that were in a garden. And she'd got the police involved, local newspapers involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
Mental. Like, who gives a shit? They cost you like £4. It's your own fault for putting things in your garden and not like fucking cementing it to the ground.
That made the front page of the fucking newspaper.
Did it actually? I just remember reading it on the fucking Facebook news or something, you know.
So it wasn't obviously national newspaper, but whatever their, not their town, but whatever their like region's newspaper would have been, it made the front page for a number of, like, while they carried on with that fucking, I'm going to use the term case in yeah, in fucking quotation marks there, because that, right, I get charged for wasting police time for asking a coffee a load of unnecessary questions when I'm pissed on a night out. But she reports fucking 3 plastic meerkats as stolen, and she gets front page news. As if there's some sort of double standard there. Officer, I just want to know if I could fucking piss in your hat, mate. Like, that's a genuine question. I also want to know if you could fit 5 fruit pastels in your mouth without chewing. She's trying to report 3 fucking stolen meerkats. Whose is more important to answer?
And you could answer your questions in quite quickly. No, and what are you, fucking stupid? No one can do that.
Exactly.
And that's it, and it's over.
Exactly. But hers dragged out for weeks. And did they come back? I don't think they came back. Do you know what?
I heard it was a Swedish bloke that took him, you know.
I heard genuinely that they had a collection to get him to replace him for it.
Really?
I believe that happened.
I
yeah.
bet her neighbours fucking hate her.
I bet her neighbours went round the next night and nicked him again. Because I fucking would have.
I'd have took everything else. I would have took everything else and replaced everything that was there with just 3 meerkats. All the trees, the garden. I'd have the turf up in the night.
Yep. Yeah,
that's an easy enough job.
What's that?
They used to lay turf. Easy enough to peel it back up again.
What's that? A nice solid oak bench you've got there. Yep, that's 3 meerkats for you. What's that? You keep your dog in a kennel, do you? Well, take the dog. 3 meerkats. I'll have a ground.
That's double glazing. She's got fucking double glaze. Give us that Stanley.
3 meerkats.
Whipping that out, leave him on the windowsill.
Coming back to Sweden's, like, as we call it, like, it's forward thinking. And it's like it's basically logical mindset. One of their most unexplained mysteries is the assassination of a very prominent left-wing prime minister, and I can't remember his name, but it's apparently it's not hard to find. It's not hard to find because it's one of their biggest mysteries. He was exactly that, very left-wing, very for the people, very forward-thinking, put in place a lot of things that have remained in Sweden since, or have developed in Sweden since, and sort of give their country the identity it's got today. And he was assassinated to fuck. Now, that could be argued that that's because he was too forward-thinking, and people were seeing other countries, say like you've discussed before with your traditional Christian America, was seeing like this bloke getting a lot of popularity, a lot of people getting behind him, a lot of people seeing that like left-wing politics could not only like exist but could be very successful, and in a way that it actually pleases people and works for them and doesn't massacre them in their millions like it does with the likes of the Soviet Union and the various instances of communism that never really worked. He was making moves. Now there were ideas, lots of ideas over who'd done it, but never solved. It's now exceeded the statute of limitations, so no one can be brought to trial for it. And after that, some copper basically came forward and went, "Oh yeah, we know who's done it. We can't prove it, and we've never been able to find the gun. He owns guns. We've never been able to find the gun that actually shot the prime minister. But yeah, it was definitely this bloke. Now we can't take him to court and prove that, so you're just gonna have to believe us. But it was definitely this bloke here."
I'm surprised someone's not come out and just gone, "Yeah, it was me," who it definitely wasn't. You know, just someone who's got like a new book out or something. They're like, "Yeah, oh, that Dr. Hillary mate off fucking GMTV who used to be on that, who sells curtains now. He's now got his face on loads of fucking curtains."
Really?
Not like literally, yeah, on the packaging for curtains, it's like fucking Dr. Hillary's blinds or Dr. Hillary's curtains or something.
Pull yourself together.
Ah, see, you beat me to it this week, eh? But it could just be someone like him could have just come forward, man. Yeah, it was me. Fucking, I've got fucking 90 centimetre drop curtains out next week, guys. Remember that?
Well, I'm hypothesizing that Sweden is a number one target. I think we've been duped, essentially, mate. I think brainwashing and propaganda has worked to some effect. I'm not sure how, subversive marketing, whatever it may be. But we've been duped into choosing Sweden as our enemy because that's what the Western world wants, and that's what the New World Order wants. Because, like, they kill their forward-thinking prime minister. Yeah, there's a load of mythology. Some of it can be proven in the terms of Jeffrey Dahmer. So we know they've got a disproportionate amount. They've got the most haunted town in the world, the most haunted hotel in the world, apparently, as well. They're both in Sweden. You've got trolls. You've got, coming back to Stockholm, 1932, a prostitute was murdered. All of her blood was drained from her body, and a ladle was found next to the body, with leading to the creation of the vampire of Atlas, or the Atlas vampire. It's the Atlas area of Stockholm. They believe that the murderer drank all of the woman's blood before fleeing the scene.
I was going to say, it's the ladle that makes it weird, isn't it?
Exactly, it was a ladle that covered in blood.
Catch it with a bucket.
Bucket
the idea
or a
that
trough.
They're getting a little bit out with a ladle at a time, and then like sticking the thumb in the hole,
and then pouring it on a roast,
catching some more in the ladle, and
pouring it on a roast.
Yeah, little gravy trains.
Yeah,
gravy boats even.
So you've got vampires, you've got trolls, you've got Nakens, you've got Krakens. They believe in the Kraken, and you've also got Mancunian Candidates. Now you didn't get the bit earlier, but I did say Mancunian Candidate.
Yeah, I did. I gave you a little smile in it, but I didn't want to interrupt you. You was in a nice little flow, bro.
Well, now I'm just going to explain it, because Parallax got in the chat saying Mancunian Candidate. I've never heard of one of them, and he didn't get that I was calling you it. So Parallax loses in this situation, and now I lose because I've explained something that never really needed to be explained. We've got Nakens, we've got Krakens, we've got Mancunian Candidates. What we've also got, technology-wise, Facebook keep a server there, the Lilia server.
Is that linked to that South Park episode with the troll hunter?
Yes, it sure is. They keep it at the top of Sweden near the Arctic Circle because it keeps the servers cold so they won't overheat. Now, who else has got their servers there? WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks have got their server in an old Cold War bunker. Now, one of the things I was looking into this is that what was really interesting, I found really cool, because I was watching a video and I saw like what was blatantly two massive engines, but I couldn't work out what for. And then later in the documentary, they explained their backup generator is powered by two submarine engines. These fuckers are massive. They're also fully chromed up, which makes them look spectacular. They've just got these two huge submarine engines in a room as they're backed in as a backup generator. But yeah, there's a shitload of information there. And I think that Sweden is trying to protect the world's information. And it's in Sweden because there's enough mythological creatures and enough like cryptids and things like that there to protect it, because it needs more than human power, because it's against humans, essentially. My theory is that we've been duped by the man and the system into hating... Yeah, they, them, in their bio. We've been duped into hating Sweden, and that was all part of the plan. They want CIA, the Rothschilds, Donald Trump, QAnon, Mossad, the KGB, all wanted us, truth-seeking, to be another proponent, another cog in the anti-Sweden machine, because they want that information. And I'm here to say, I'm announcing now that we take back our hatred of Sweden.
I'm feeling quite pro-Sweden myself. You know?
Yeah. So what can we do to basically say sorry?
I think we need to go over there and buy loads of Coca-Cola in the winter, because they don't sell as much over there in the winter, apparently. Which is a little conspiracy. Yeah. They have their own type of soft drink, which for whatever reason they'll only drink in, I think, 2 of the winter months, and Coca-Cola sales really plummet. Which is weird. Which also links to other things, though. So Coca-Cola uses Father Christmas to advertise throughout the world.
Yes.
And Father Christmas comes from what we all call Lapland, which is actually the northern part of Sweden, which is actually a part of Sweden and also a part of another country, but realistically it's Sweden, and it's the indigenous Swedish people that live there. And some people believe that they themselves have like fucking probably a risky thing to say, but people believe that those people in particular have like magical powers in it.
Right.
don't think that classes as racist. I don't think.
No,
But
I think you've got away with that, yeah.
yeah, well, they believe in that, so that could mean that Father Christmas is real and lives there and makes Coca-Cola. But he's got to then be seen all around the world spreading his magic through fucking like numbers and caffeine and sugar, and he's always getting about, driving his lorry and that.
What if that's mate? What if that's part of the thing that Sweden are protecting? Because we over the years, like we've known Coca-Cola to be one of the biggest, like, ugly corporations, like the biggest, most shining examples of capitalism, getting their fingers in absolutely everything. Their product is...
I won't say a bad word against them. Fucking love it, mate.
The product is extremely bad for your health. But yet they use it... They advertise it at sporting events and shit. Like, oh, you can't get any water in Africa, but we'll sell you Coke. Like, you can get it all there. And America have basically pushed it like, America make Coke. Coke is freedom juice. Freedom juice in America. What if Sweden are trying to bring back the truth and the knowledge, which with all the information they've got, that's why they've got these servers. They're allowing these servers to be housed there because they provide the source of the real truth. The real truth being the Coca-Cola is made by Santa, and the Americans have tried to take Coke from Santa.
Who used to be green, right? But we've turned him red, or the Americans or Coca-Cola have turned him red, his outfit supposedly, which ties into how they see the Sami people, or the Sami people, however the fuck you say it, of northern Sweden and the indigenous people there. They believe that this world is represented by the colour red. So what if when it was actually green, they were actually seeing it as, that would meant it was another world. But by doing that, again, the whole idea of the huge inversion, that someone's taken all of the truths of the world and completely inverted them. Because red and green are supposed to be like opposite colours, aren't they?
Yes.
So that would be an inversion.
It's a battle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a battle of truth and lies. In Sweden, I mean, I'm glad we've managed to pull the wool from our eyes, because, like, for a long time we were going to go down the route.
I thought we'd just be fucking ripping them all night, but I feel like I've genuinely learnt stuff, and it's changed. Like, it's actually changed my opinion on, like, fucking.
Well, I think what we've proven is even the most knowledgeable, and even those with who basically stick their necks on the line in every way possible to do the very most amount of research that could physically possibly be done. Even people like ourselves will often find ourselves wrong, but it's the willingness to admit and learn from that rather than be stubborn in our ways. Which is now why we're now exclusively an anti-American podcast.
I thought we were going to go for the finish. Slowly work our way down.
Did I not warn you at the start that fucking the White Death is from Finland? Literally, probably the best sniper of all time, who killed an insane amount of Russians with a gun that had iron sights. And you're just now trying to turn us into... Are you suicidal? Are you like those two Swedish women? Now, we've got another 10 minutes to kill. So... we've reached we've essentially premature concluded.
I found out something weird that I didn't know existed.
All right, then
today.
Let's go.
You can get it's like an under the skin implant that's powered by, like, your body, like the microchips that they used for the vending machines.
Right.
But all it does is just flashes an LED light under your skin. Now, how fun would that be at a party where people pass out and you've got a way of fucking injecting that under people's skins, and then you put, like, fucking a little chain around the neck or something, and you're like, right, you're not fucking going anywhere, mate. Yeah, that if you go past that front door, your neck's gonna fucking pop, mate.
Like
just a little blinking red light, like a fucking slave collar on Fallout, mate. And they'd be fucking shitting it. And then you just leave. And then this guy who doesn't know that these things exist is now living in this other person's house for the rest of their life, unless they like grip a knife and fucking claw it out of themselves. But I thought that was a weird thing to make.
Yeah, I mean, if that is a weird thing to make. It's weird that the immediate situation you put yourself in using that is to basically trap someone, torture a stranger, and leave them stranded in someone else's house to exist until they do or do not blow up from stepping outside. Yeah, that's fucking strange. But yeah, I mean, you'd want to just I'd like to just walk past people randomly and them to go, "Did you just flash?" You go, "No. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Don't be fucking dirty. Like, do that.
Sort of idiot.
Just have a big coat.
Who can what? Flash? What do you mean? Then just do it again as you walk off. Like, great. Just basically just annoy strangers or confuse strangers, which is essentially what I do now. Just another facet to that.
If you could get them though in your forehead, right? Like just like sort of above your eyebrows and your under your skin and your forehead, just on the bone, might be a bit uncomfortable, but I'm guessing these things are pretty tiny. You could just sit in people's front gardens, mate, with your eyes closed, just facing towards the bedroom window every night at the same time until the police start coming, and then you just go a few streets down.
Or a different time. Or you just stagger your weeks.
Always the same time everywhere, and then for a few years, and then suddenly change.
Ooh, like that Chinese water torture.
Yeah,
you start doing it, and then you eventually remove yourself from the situation, but you just leave a light in the tree instead.
Little laser pointer.
Yeah.
And a system of mirrors in everyone's garden, so everyone thinks you're in everyone's garden.
Yeah, and then they are constantly aware of an LED light that doesn't in fact exist. Wow. That's 21st century torture right there. That's something I can get down with. Have you heard about the silver train in Sweden? We're going to stick with Sweden. I've got more Swedish shit to talk about. You heard about the mystery of the silver train?
No.
Trust me, I thought metros were bad. Don't want to get on this train. This metros, piss. There'll be the odd person who'll light up a tab thinking they're hard. Maybe a dog's done a shit. Maybe there's a few Rajis on the train who've had a little bit too much cheap coke and a few too many pints, and they'll try and start a little bit frisk with you. But if you get on this mystery silver train in Sweden that apparently comes by sometimes after midnight, it didn't specify a line or an area or a time. This train can spring up anywhere. It's like the whack-a-mole. It's like the whack-a-mole of trains. You don't know which one it's going to come up at any time, but it could be you. This train will turn up, and they recommend not getting on this train if you see a deathly silver train appear out of nowhere. This is how it was essentially told. If you see a deathly silver train, ghostly silver train appear out of nowhere after midnight at night, the advice from Swedish people is to not get on it. No!
I would advise most people to not get on a train unless you need to get on that train.
Yeah, my advice would be, if that train isn't going to the place that your ticket is, then don't get on that train. And chances are, this train is definitely not going where you're going, because this train doesn't go to anywhere. It either doesn't stop and you just keep going, or it takes you to this abandoned train station, which does exist, but it's an abandoned platform that's never used. And if you get off there, you just stay in the train station. You can't escape. Everything's barred. Everything's locked, and you just stay there until you die. Now, I've felt like that in many train stations, but it's been the result of like a distinct lack of serotonin after a night out, and I've been trying to get a connected train because I've come from Manchester and I'm trying to get to Sunderland, and I've got the Manchester to Leeds across the is it the Pennine Way one? What's the train that goes from?
I never really went from Manchester to Leeds. I only ever did that on a coach.
It goes across.
Megabus.
It's not the Pennines one. I know the one I'm talking about. It might be the Transpennine Express actually. I think it is. Get across there, and then you're waiting at Leeds. Leeds is a cold station. Leeds is an unforgiving train station. Not happy about that. There's a Costa, a little truck one, but everyone's haggled around it. You don't want to be around the Costa crowd. Not when you're on a come down. You want to be fucking, I want my coffee and go. So you just don't risk the coffee. I don't want to be talking to people. This is a time when you don't want to be in the north because I'm coming down to bits. I want to be in Sweden on a come down. Another time why it's great. On a come down, not going to have any of those awkward conversations with people. You're going to go, look, like, we can both see what sort of state I'm in. Let's just not talk about it. And it'll be fine. But unforgiving station is Leeds, and I've often felt like I am in an abandoned station and will never actually get home, but I usually do. I can imagine this one in Sweden is even worse than that.
Mm. I imagine it's pretty bad to fucking turn up at that train station anyway. But how did he know that they died there?
This is it. Who's reported
It's one
back?
of them stories, isn't it? Yeah. It doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that there's probably something at the end of it that we're not being told. Like, yeah, you go there and you can never escape and you die.
So how do you know?
What we do is we take you into the back room and we peel your skin off and put it over the cyborgs that we've been making.
We're sending them to the UK.
To play Frogger on the motorways.
Watch this one. We've dropped her from 30 metres and she just gets up and keeps stabbing. It's amazing. We just need to
look, there's two of them. Two of them have come off the train at once.
Oh,
this never happened.
This is mental. We're going to have a great time. Hands, fire up the scalpel. I'm going to leave you with one last mythological folklorish story, and then we can have some parting thoughts before Mr. Chodride. Also an announcement to make. But have you heard about the Kittegrau mythological folklore story?
No.
Kittegrau is a woman who the devil approached. It was a newlywed couple who I believe owned a farm in Sweden. Obviously, wouldn't be elsewhere. Otherwise, this whole Swedish tale going on in a different country would be slightly odd. And the devil he's not looking happy, right? He's looking quite pissed off. The devil, usually happy chap, usually gets what he wants, right? He's got that zest about him.
He might not dabble in Sweden all that often, though. He's always in America and England, isn't he? And he's like, I'm gonna go and I'll give the Swedes one last go.
Yeah, it's true. He's always in them bloody rock concerts, isn't he? He's always in them rock concerts and them bloody Grand Theft Autos, the devil, and the bloody bugger. He doesn't happen to be in those churches where all those priests go about raping young bairns. We haven't mentioned nonsense all episodes, so it's best we get in right at the end of the hour. It's mad that the devil doesn't appear in all those sort of priesthoods and all those Catholic churches and all those other religious places where they like to bum young boys. But he does appear in video games and rock concerts, which, for the large part, aren't attended by nonces. Not too much noncery goes on at those events. In comparison with the church service, I'd say a negligible amount. Now, back to Kitty Grau. Kitty Grau, devil's walking down the street. He's fucking hard on his luck. He's kicking a can about the floor. No, he's not. He's not kicking a can about the floor because Sweden is a very clean country. He's kicking a stone about the floor. He's kicking it about not looking happy. He's kicked the stone too far and it's gone. You know when it goes across the street the other way and you're like, it's now not in my walking path, so I can't keep kicking the stone, but I want to kick the stone again.
No, who does that? I always think to myself, I've still got 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll go
I don't care if someone sees me enjoying myself. I don't care if that old woman I just kicked in the... I don't care if I just kicked that woman in the shin with it across the road, the bus stop. I'm going to get that pebble back. Excuse me, pet. So Kitty Grau's like, oh, devil boy. Oi, laddie, what you saying, son? In some sort of Swedish. And he's like, look... Let's try to break up the fucking newlyweds. They're too in love. I can't have it. This is real. Well, not real, but this is the fucking story. The devil's like, these newlyweds are too in love. And I want them broken up. He's like, he's got this nice pair of sparkly, colourful shoes with him. She's like, I want those shoes. And the devil's like, well, I've got a little deal with you. If you can break those newlyweds up, that even I, the devil, can't, you can have these shiny shoes. If not, I'll just have your soul. You know, like most devil stories where you sell your soul to the devil. Robert Johnson, the blues player. I don't know if you've ever looked into that story. That's a really fucking good one to look into. Robert Johnson, the blues player, widely renowned for selling his soul to the devil. Wasn't that remarkable of a blues player. Disappeared off the scene. Came back and was fucking amazing. And the story goes that he sold his soul to the devil. Devil's like, you fucking break those up, you can have these shoes, and if not, I'm gonna snatch your eternal life from you. That's deal, yeah, capiche? All Noel Edmonds like over the phone with the box, and she goes fucking deal in Swedish. So she goes, husband goes off hunting from the newlyweds. So this Kitty Grau goes up to the house. The wife's there. She goes, oh, you've got a beautiful husband. He looks to be absolutely marvellous. Amazing husband. And the wife's like, yep, got the best one there is. Absolutely love him to bits. Now better. He fucking makes his jizz. He knocks out belt of scran. He can roll 3 skin fucking bifters. Doesn't even spill anything out the end. He knocks up a belt of line. I'm in it for good, me. I've got it laughing. And she's like, well, I see that. But there's still a little bit of aggression in him. There's a little bit of violence in him. He's got 3 hairs in his beard that are the source of his aggression, of his anger, of his potential hatred. If you shave those off, it's got to be in his sleep, because if he's aware, his like that aggression will like try and stop that from happening. If you take those 3 hairs off in his sleep, he'll be fine, and you're going to have, honestly, you have the best, most perfect husband you'll have for the rest of your life.
She goes, all right, I'll do that. Then Kitta goes off, finds the husband who's hunting in the forest, and she goes to the husband like, "You got a beautiful wife. I've just bumped into her in the house." He goes, "Oh, she's belty and her. She's got one of those big booties. She loves the rave. She can triple drop on 3 decks. Like, she's a fucking wicked MC as well. I love this one who, she's the tits." And Kitta goes, I see that, but I'm gonna warn you. Like, I can tell her future, and she's proper nice and that, but she's gonna try and kill you in your sleep tonight, so be careful. And he goes, "Fuck off. No way. Love it a bits, man." Goes to sleep later on, and he thinks, well, I love her, and obviously that's not, like, she wouldn't do it, but I'm gonna stay a little bit awake. Sure enough, wifey comes in. "Oh, I'm gonna cut his beard off in his sleep and everything will be sound." She goes to cut his hairs off. He wakes up, goes, "You trying to kill us?" And they break up, and I believe he kills her. Kitta leaves the house, goes back to the devil. Well, she goes back home, and then the devil approaches on the next day or something. The devil's still on the other side of a river, and the devil's like, won't cross the river to give this girl her shoes. So instead, she puts the shoe. He puts
naked men in it.
Yeah, it's full of just naked blokes playing the violin. But essentially, imagine this scene to be quite dramatic, but with a ridiculously overbearing amount of violins just naked blokes playing violins, all
Some
out
of
of
them
tune.
have been let go as well. They're just floating on the surface, just floating downstream.
Out of tune, out of key, strings broken. They're playing different harmonies and melodies. It's a right fucked up situation. And in the midst of all that, you've got the devil with a massive stick with these like pair of shoes on, hanging them over the river to give them to Kitta, because he's like, "You are too evil that even I, the devil, even I, devil, apparently worse than a load of international kid fuckers. I'm not evil enough to be in the presence of you." And I think that she's protecting the WikiLeaks server.
I can't disagree. I mean, you would give her a job, wouldn't you, if you were the devil in that position? And you know that she's not going to be like, "Oh, I know, I'm the most evil person there is." She's going to be going, "No, I'm not. You should meet my mother."
No, you want to give it to the train. Trust us, that train.
Yeah, that
you
train
never come back.
Ruined lives, mate.
And that bloke out there, I know he smells of seaweed, and look, I know he needs some work, but he can't half fiddle. Not like them priests, but he can't half fiddle. On that note, it's Chode's Liberal Paradise next. In fact, it's Chode's Liberal Paradise now. We're cutting into the time as per. But if you would like to there will be a link. It's in my bio already on Instagram. It'll possibly be in the Threshold bio very shortly soon. It might even be in Jack's bio on his link tree. Essentially, there's truth-seeking merch, T-shirts, hoodies, jumpers. You can have a mug. You can have a postcard. I was going to keep the shower curtains up, but I figured no one would buy a truth-seeking shower curtain.
I've got a shower curtain up on mine, mate. It's just my face like 300 times.
That's amazing.
But it costs. It's about 85 quid. Apparently, that's the price it has to be.
Your face being the thumbnail of the 5 creepy channels that I came across on my recommended the other day on YouTube was hilarious. I'm going through 5 creepy videos, and then your mug pops up on the next recommended one. I was like, well, yeah, he is creepy, but I wouldn't say top 5. Yeah, we've got merch. You can buy it. I will get probably a quid or 2 max. It's Redbubble, so let's be honest. They take all the money. They're red, like Coca-Cola, like America, like the American Coca-Cola. They are the devil. But we must somehow bow down to the devil in order to get our dick sucked just a little bit. So pipe off the devil so he can pipe off me. Buy some T-shirts. They've got a funky design in the front. It's done by Crafty_Fox. Follow that person for more artwork. We'll be including artwork from different people in future bits of merch. Basically, I want to get a different artist on every bit. So there's some sort of mention to other people rather than it just being for us. I'd like to have different artwork of different people. So if other people are interested, give us a shout. I'd like to include your shit. We could have some. We basically need someone to do the British Navy playing the teacups and teaspoons to the warriors whilst invading China. We need that on a T-shirt. There are other things we need on a T-shirt that we probably can't discuss on this show. But there's that. What else did I have to mention? I don't think there's anything.
If we're all plugging stuff, fucking
Plug shit.
buy me book off my website for £2.50 as an ebook.
Yeah.
Might make you laugh.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've got your other two, so I suppose I'll probably get the third.
Yeah, I didn't even think to ask you if you wanted to put a review on the back. I couldn't be arsed with messing about with people doing that again, but...
I'd do that, not a problem. Oh, it's too late now, but for the fourth one,
I'll
do a full-page review, mate. It's Chode's Liberal Paradise. Now buy merch. Buy some fucking merch. Next week, is this our 24th show?
Oh, mate, I don't know stuff like that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm meant to, and I really don't. I've spent all day doing fucking job interview shit.
I just really thought you were just going to say, I spent all day doing lines, mate. And so you held it together well. But...
no, it's been a while since that, thank fuck. This is only episode 23, so we're not going to do a 25th episode special. We're not going to do a 25th episode special yet, because it's only episode 23, but we might do one for episode 25. We don't know what next week's topic is. Yes, we do. Go on.
Oh, I want to do chemtrails because they just seem to have disappeared, mate.
That's what we're going to do next week then. Chode's on now. Listen to Chode.
Try and write it down.
Fantastic. I'll see you later.